We begin this evening with breaking news and team coverage of the shootings of two Baton Rouge police officers here in our city.
It happened just before 1 o'clock on Conrad Drive near Winborn Avenue. We're going to start off right with NBC Local 33's Jonah Gilmore at the scene tonight. Jonah.
About 100 yards from where the incident actually occurred, you can see in the distance we have every emergency responding crews out here. There's the Sheriff's Office, Baton Rouge Police, EMS, and we have 3 SWAT units that have repositioned themselves to kind of focus in on that house where a suspect has allegedly barricaded himself inside. Still very limited details, but since we've been here for a little over 3 hours, we have heard shots ring out. Unclear on if those shots were fired from inside of the house or fired from outside going in, but we do know that those officers, 2 Baton Rouge police officers, responded to a call here on Conrad Street. When they got here, they were shot.
Well, NBC Local 33's Abby Rocha has also been following the shooting since the report started coming in just before 1. She joins us now live from the scene as well with details on what we know so far about what's been unfolding there minute by minute this afternoon. Abby.
Thanks, John. We are here on North Foster Drive, where we were told to wait to hear from the chief of police on the current conditions of those 2 officers. Now, Sergeant Elgene McNeely says this all began today around 12:30, while officers were responding to a call on Conrad Drive when things quickly turned violent. Because as you can see, there is still a large police presence out here. Now, it's best to avoid that area if you can, because a lot of the roads are blocked off. Live in Baton Rouge, Abby Rocha, NBC Local 33 News.
All right, Abby, thank you. And there's also video already circulating of this incident on social media. We warn you, though, it's very disturbing. It actually shows the scene as the officers who were shot were being rushed to the waiting ambulance. You can clearly see here several emergency responders rushing the first officer down the driveway to the waiting ambulance. And then just a few seconds later in this video, you will see this camera turn back here toward the house, and you will see the second police officer being rushed from the scene to the ambulance. Again, they're both shot earlier today responding to that house there on Conrad near Winborn. Both officers taken to the hospital.
That hospital is Our Lady of the Lake, and that's where we find NBC Local 33's Dion Guillory picking up our coverage. Dion.
Well, Harrison, we've been here at outside Our Lady of the Lake Hospital for about 3 hours now, waiting to find out any information about the condition of any one of the officers who we have found out were shot in that incident. And I want to take you to our overhead camera, because this is what's going to really paint the picture here for you. So you can see that there are 3 cars parked here outside of this area of the hospital. Now, we have seen lots of cars from Baton Rouge Police, the East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office, also Livingston Parish, the State Police, and also Ascension Parish officers coming in and out of the area.
Dion, thank you very much. At this point, here's what we know so far from today's shooting. The incident happened at around 12:30. Between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, officers got that call and headed to the corner of Conrad Drive and Winborn Avenue. We do know at least 2 officers were shot. SWAT crews seem to be at the scene right now trying to apprehend who they believe is one of the shooting suspects. BRPD Chief Murphy Paul, we were getting some messages earlier that they were going to be holding a news conference updating the public, but of course this is quite the fluid situation, quite the fluid scene.
During the standoff, Cato also fired shots at our SRT officers who returned fire during the incident. As a result of the shooting, we lost a 21-year veteran, the Baton Rouge Police Department. We're not going to be releasing his name to make sure that the proper notifications go out. The second officer who was shot is a 7-year veteran of the police department, and he's still fighting for his life at the hospital. And we're asking you to keep him in your prayers, lift him up.